Hi, I'm LG Seeds agronomist Jim Rowley. Thank you for joining us for this week's Agronomy Tip of the Week. Each week this growing season, you'll have an opportunity to share in some of the insight from the LG Seeds agronomist and learn a little bit about some of the current topics going on in your corn and soybeans. This week's we're going to talk about a couple items. One, related primarily to leaf disease in the corn. I'm going to show you a little bit on the gray leaf spot. And as we zoom in on the gray leaf spot, it's been a big concern this year throughout the marketplace. In this leaf here, you can see some tattered leaf here, and you can see signs of gray leaf spot. We can go to some other leaves here and see additional gray leaf spot, the rectangular lesions and whatnot. And of course, it's been developing from the ground up, typically from the splattering and whatnot from the rain. And then it'll go up further up in the canopy, and of course, that's why we sprayed for fungicide for the gray leaf and other disease this year. And at this time in the growing season, even though most growers have already completed the foliar spray, there's still opportunity to prevent the gray leaf spot from further developing, because at this point in the season, the environment is still optimum for gray leaf production and further development in the crop. Keep in mind that the photosynthesis that occurs in the upper canopy is continuing to pack starches into the kernel, and that's all adds to test weight and more bushels. And so we still have opportunity to protect the crop, and it's an excellent crop this year. And if you have inspected your fields, you know the gray leaf is present. We don't want that to continue. It's still not too late to take advantage of the opportunities to spray and protect your crop. The other thing, we'll switch gears here and talk a little bit about corn rootworm monitoring that's going on, and other agronomists will probably share some results of that study later this season. You know, many of us have the pheromone traps out. Maybe you have one in your field, monitoring the corn rootworm progress throughout our marketplace. I'll tell you right now, the presence of corn rootworm beetles is much higher this year than we saw last year. It's not out the roof, but it is much higher than what we experienced last year. And I would encourage you to maybe grab some traps from your local LG Seeds agronomist, if at all possible, to help monitor your fields. But we do have higher pressure this year than last year. So what I'll say about that is, you know, as we go to protect our crop, you know, we're looking at corn rootworm damage that occurred early this season, and perhaps it's eaten some of the different nodes off of the corn. Now, these are two different hybrids here. Two hybrids we do have in our LG Seeds lineup. And so there's a couple of things we can learn as we do root digs throughout the season. And that is, one, of course, what kind of damage is occurring in the lower portion of the plant here that's affecting our plant nutrient uptake. This is a very healthy plant, as is this one. So the things I'm pointing out at this point in the stage of the game is that this particular hybrid has a much different root structure than the one on the left. And so notice the one on the left has a very horizontal root structure, as opposed to the one on the right, which is much more vertical. Notice how the roots go much downward relative to the one on the left. Both these plants have minimal feeding from rootworm damage, but that can change. I encourage you later this season to get out and do some root digs with your LG Seeds agronomist. Anyway, that's this week's Agronomy Tip of the Week, and thank you for joining us.